Yeah, I started loving film, I'd say, before I loved anything else. Forever. I can remember probably the first movie I was obsessed with was Back to the Future. Back to the Future is life-changing. Goonies. So I'm 32, I was born in 82, so I'd say about maybe 84, 85 is when I really started being obsessed. Like, couldn't stop watching movies. It is a full-on addiction, I'd say. It's a full obsession, like I can't stop. Kingdom Falls is, it's about a drifter, I think, and a drifter comes into a small town and kind of realizes that there's nothing there for him and wants to continue drifting, and kind of gets really close with the owner of this bar, and he's a musician, this drifter, and he's just playing, you know, blues rock guitar, and then this DJ he wants to take over, and he wants to play the small towns, and he wants to bring out people, and so it's kind of a musician against the DJ. I think it was the idea of it, and I think there was a lot of influences, and I think for that storyline, I think one of the main ones was the Smiths' "Hang the DJ," the song. There was something, I don't know, I've always really despised DJs that get popular for taking other people's music and just kind of adding some stuff to it. Although that anger that I have for that is kind of, you know, I've let it go. I've appreciated DJs and, you know, electronic music now, but at the time it was something that I was dealing with, so that's what that film is about. My new film, Pilgrim, is about, oh my gosh, I can't even explain it. I'd say it's about two families growing up in the same town that Kingdom Falls was based on, but in 1923. And one of the families, they make moonshine, and they sell it to two other families that they know of in this area. And it's a adventure film, it's a sci-fi, drama, comedy, adventure. Alton is everything. Without Alton, I wouldn't be standing here, obviously, because we're in Alton, but I wouldn't be alive. Alton, there's something about it. Like, I've heard people talk about even LA, or, you know, anywhere where you grow up, I think, becomes this part of you. And for some people, like, thank God I didn't grow up in places like Brampton or Mississauga, because what do you hold, you know? But Alton is this magical, dark, twisted, small town, and my experiences in Alton might seem unbelievable to some people, because the things that I've seen, the things that I've gone through here are just mind-blowing. Ghosts, like for real ghosts, like seeing things just appear in front of me, witnesses to these, you know. Alton is a magical, wonderful place, and without it, I don't think I'd want to be on this earth. For some reason, Alton is more special to me, I think, than, I don't know, anything. Well, Kingdom Falls was a short film, so it's 26 minutes. I think the first cut of that film was maybe 40 minutes, and I originally wrote it as like a 2-hour film, so it was like a full-length script. I think maybe 150 pages. It was massive, and there was so much more to the story and more characters, but then it was my first kind of big project, so I thought, well, let's just maybe start with a short film. Let's not dive into a feature film. But it took us a long time to make it, because we had to it was trial and error. Like, I had no idea what I was doing, so I had to just watch a whole bunch of films. But it took us like the entire winter, and then I say probably November to March of filming, And that's not every day, because I can't pay the actors and stuff, so everyone's just kind of doing it for fun. But it took us a while, and then maybe 3 months of editing. So yeah, it depends. But the feature film that I'm working on now, I'm almost done editing, and we wrapped in September. So and we only shot I think 15 days total, and the movie's just under 2 hours. So yeah, it really depends, I think, on the crew and the passion that everyone has, and how quick you're gonna go, and if it's fun. That's the thing. If you're having fun, it goes by so quick, and you don't have to second guess anything. Best film of all time, It's a Wonderful Life. That changed everything for me. My parents showed it to me, I think when I was just 4 years old, and we'd watch it every year at Christmas time, and I liked it. I remember thinking, yeah, it's a good movie, and then when I got maybe 13 or 14, I watched it again, and I was like, what am I, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. The performances, the oh my god, the cinematography, the costumes, everything about that movie is flawless. So that movie definitely is my favorite movie. It changed my life. Yeah. Mine are weird. Most people, I think, would be like, oh, I want to go to this place and I want to do this. And for me, I want to work with people. I think before I die, I want to work with people. I'd love to work with Paul Thomas Anderson. I'd love to work with Harmony Korine. I'd love to work with Tim Kinsella. These are my favorite artists. And I'd love to work with Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam somehow. That's what I'd like to do. I had a reoccurring nightmare. Actually kind of screwed me up. I was really young, and I'd have this dream where I used to live in an apartment building when I was a kid. We were waiting for this house in Alton to be built, so we had to stay with my aunt and uncle in their apartment building. And I had this really one of the floors, there was some my brother's friend or something was up there, so we would go up, and it was really dark, long hallway with these red and black carpets, really creepy feeling to it. And I had this dream, and every night I have this dream, and I'd be being pushed in a stroller down this hallway, and at the end of the hallway, these elevator doors are just opening and closing. And every time I tried to turn to see who was pushing me in the stroller, I'd get slapped across the face. And then one night, the dream went further than it was, every other night, and I actually turned around and I got to see who was pushing me, and it was my grandmother, but her face was all like a hamburger, and she put me in the elevator, and then the other elevator doors opened, and I was now walking on a tightrope across the building, and then 3 days later my grandmother died. Yeah, it was the weirdest thing ever, so it kind of screwed with me for a bit. I think the similarity between my records or my songs and the movies are, I guess that small town nostalgic feeling. It's something that I will always try to create something that's nostalgic feeling, remembering or thinking about, being young again, or thinking about growing old. Just any aspect of, I don't know if I'm articulating that properly, but I would say nostalgia is probably the mood that I'm always trying to get with art. I think small town living, I'm obsessed with it, and I can't do city. Even my favorite cities, Chicago is my favorite city in the world, and I can't go to the city. When I'm there, I'm just like, get me out, let's go to the suburbs. And everyone thinks I'm nuts, because I'm like, if you put me in the suburbs in Chicago, I am the happiest guy in the world. Put me in the city, I don't think I'm going to get through it. But yeah, so I think nostalgia and small towns, that's my connection to the records and films. Well, I live in Rockwood now, so for me, when I wake up, I want to go to the caves. That's what I do when I wake up. I drink coffee and I go into the caves. And Alton, I would wake up and I would go to the Pinnacle. So for me, nature, it's the first thing I think of when I wake up, is to get out, just explore, maybe go to a field or just see something else. Because when I wake up, I have bipolar, so I'm just a mess. Every morning I wake up and I'm like, you the devil. Like, no, you just run the other way, because it doesn't matter, you know, if I slept 20 hours, 3 hours, I'm a mess in the morning. So that's the one thing that I guess straightens me up a little bit, is nature. Yeah. Thanks for watching the Bohemian Graces. I'm Ryan Masters, and Hota, Hota! I got damn tired thinking of Monday.